Good morning. What a weekend, huh? What a weekend. What a weekend. And the only thing the text did from the pool guy was confirm. I mean, was it supposed to rile me up? Because it backfired. Huge. I mean, here's a poor guy that came in at the end the last 3 or 4 months and is going to get roasted and his life ruined because I plan to strip that license right out from under him. So I don't know why these guys do this. But of course, I don't understand why anybody would get involved with mafia business either. Like, what the heck drove Russ and Mandy to get involved in mafioso business and still acting like they can devise plans to get out of it or to get the US military equipment out of the attic? Stop it. You guys are going in orange jumpsuits. And you know why the poor pool guy is going to get roasted and ruined? Is because that's how we stop the mafia. Is we make examples out of all of them, and then nobody's stupid enough to play the game anymore. That's how you stop the mafia. And since the title of this is titled, Why Are Christopher Wray and Merrick Garland Still on the Job Today? That's a serious question we need to find answers to. Biden doesn't get to keep ducking into these White House rooms and saying, no comment, no comment, no comment. And his poor press secretary, I don't know whether to feel sorry for her or to say she deserved it. I guess it's up to her because I've been around for 5 years. And if some of her friends in journalism didn't call her and say, you better get out of there long ago, then I just, you know what I mean? I just have to wonder. Because what kind of story is she selling to everybody? Probably one that'll devastate her career, hopefully. Why are Christopher Wray and Merrick Garland still on the job today? I mean, the first thing is he said, the pool guy says, 282 recipients? Yeah, dude. If you didn't notice, the press is on there. Yes, with all those government addresses on there, like, you know, and then a question mark. Like, excuse me, my email was very clear. There was no misinterpretation in my email whatsoever. None. You see, some mafiosos would be better maybe to take the money and make sure that the pool ran. Kind of maybe did the opposite. Because why would you want to get creamed for that? Especially at the end. But you see, that's how it all stops, is because we put those guys down and ruin them. And it stops all of this silly nonsense. Because nobody's going to want to be ruined and have their pool company ripped right out from under them. Nobody's going to want to do that for a 4-month, 5-month job. Now, I don't know what the mafia was going to pay him, but it obviously isn't going to be worth it in the long run, is it? Nope. That's why I say and that's of course what they're afraid of, is they're all going in orange jumpsuits. We don't have a choice but to put them in orange jumpsuits. Unless you'd like to repeat Hitler for the third time around in another 50. Would you like to do that? I'm sure the mafia will be happy to arrange that for you. We need to make sure that Hitler does not come upon American shores ever again. And the only way we do that is to put the pool company out of business and in orange jumpsuits right along with the entire neighborhood. And the neighborhood over there that I hear noises out of, and the neighborhood over there that I hear the noises out of, and it's all over the place. It's all over the place. And I have told, I'm sure Magnus has read them. He knows what's in them anyway. But I have told Trump, and I have told Biden, and I have told Wray, and I've told Garland, and I've told Nancy Pelosi, and Adam Schiff, and Chuck Schumer that I do not take kindly to weekends, holidays, and congressional recesses where they let the mafia just go apeshit like they did this past weekend, like they do every weekend. And finally, I've told them over and over and over and over and over again that weekends are their worst nightmares. And they never believed me. I hope they do today. Sorry, I like to look over there in that chair next to me and picture that stupid, ugly Magnus sitting there. Because he's going in an orange jumpsuit. So is my brothers. And so is every member of my family. Every member. Because I don't want Hitler to ever come ashore again. And the only way Hitler doesn't come ashore again is when you make examples out of all of them. There aren't any plea deals out of this. Sorry. No. There's no plea deals anywhere. There's not even a plea deal for Biden and Trump. No. There's no plea deals. Not in my case. You're not offering anybody a plea deal. Now, I don't know why victims haven't rose up long before and said, excuse me, you're not offering anybody who has victimized me a plea deal. You can get on that high horse of yours and march your ass right on out of here. Because you're not pleading somebody out that tortured and victimized me. Are we clear? I think this morning we're very clear. But I'm sure it'll continue for a few more weeks, and that's fine. I'll be on this video for a few more weeks. So that Americans can see it for themselves live. So that Americans can finally see what this mafioso and what this government has been doing to us for a century. Sorry, I'm furious, and the mafia is, of course, still running at my back. Because, of course, they thought that it was going to piss me off today. And the only thing that it did was get them in hotter water. As if they're not in hot water enough. Because I will eventually have enough people who watch this live. It's world history. Why wouldn't you watch it live? It's world history. about how America failed to stop the mafia a century ago, and so we ended up with Hitler on American soil instead of over in Germany again. This time he landed in America. And these guys thought they were going to piss me off. You see, it's interesting. Like I said, I knew when Mandy showed up over at Allison's the other day, and then the guy across the street, or one of his mafiosos, showed up, that we were in severe danger and that the weekend ahead was going to be brutal. Because when Mandy shows up, it's always going to be brutal. Always. As they hide behind that pristine, and in their mind, remember, it's only in their mind, as they hide behind that pristine LDS mantra, whatever, that we're just sacred. We could never be evil. Don't believe that. Don't believe that. Let's believe that about as much as we believe all the Catholic priests who say that they've got the torturing of their youth in check, because I highly doubt they have that in check. I suspect it goes on still today. And you know why? That's one thing I cannot stand. You see, you can see all the batshit craziness in the religions. Men and women, regardless of what nuttery that Catholic stuff is, that's nuttery. Men and women were not put on this earth not to have sex. Period. It's something that occurs naturally, for heaven's sakes, in all of us. Asking priests not to have sex is insane and cultish and just crazy, nutty brain stuff. That's nutty. All of that is nutty. And that's how you know that they're cults, is when they believe that crazy nonsense, that priests are supposed to be so pure or something that they're not allowed to have sex. That's crazy. That's why you end up with them abusing your children. That's exactly how you end up with them abusing your children, is because you've come up with some weird crackpot idea that they're not allowed to be married or have sex or have a relationship with anybody. You people are nutty. Sorry, you know what? I'm not here for anybody to like me. I don't care whether you like me or not. I could give to you know what's. Whether you like me or not, I could care less. I've lived my whole life being hated. So guess what? A few more is not going to bother me, even if it's if it's all these white people. I don't care if they hate me. Good God. If I cared about what they thought of me, I'd have quit a long time ago. I'm used to white people and their nutty mouths. Unfortunately. So I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to save a country. Like I told you last night. That's it. I don't care whether you like me or not. I could care less. But I'm also here to shut down that U.S. military that's operating like mini militias and getting involved in Saudi's nonsense and Eric Prince nonsense and all of the contractor nonsense. I'm going to shut it down. Again, you know why I'm shutting it down? Because I don't want Hitler arriving on U.S. soil while the U.S. military acts like he hasn't arrived and is in and has helped pay for and laid the groundwork for Hitler's trip over here. So I'm shutting it down. Don't worry, folks. The good ones that are among there's plenty of jobs. We have to remake this country. Everybody will have a job, for health's sakes. We have to completely rebuild it. Everyone will have a job. People need to stop worrying about whether there's not going to be enough jobs. There's going to be plenty of jobs because we have to rebuild America. We won't be able to find enough people to fill them. Will be the problem. There'll be plenty of jobs. Plenty. And if I have any say so in how we rebuild this, in the interim, before everybody gets on their feet and has a job, you're going to receive government checks so that nobody starves and that you can keep the roof over your head. If I have any say. But I'm shutting that U.S. military down. And if we have a U.S. military, it will completely be reworked and it will never be contracted out. Ever. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. Don't talk to me about contractors because every place I have ever worked, they brought in contractors and the only thing that it did was devastate the company and ruined it. So when I say I'm going to get contracting out of the U.S. military, yes, I am. Because I, with my own eyes, have seen its destruction. Contracting in general, where where they don't even have to follow the regulations, the same regulations that the company does. In other words, that's where you start seeing the polluting of the water and of the air and all that nonsense, because they contract it out where they don't have to follow any rules. So I'm getting contracting. Bye-bye. Gone. And U.S. military contracting, absolutely gone. Halliburton gone. Right out the window. Contracting out the window, because that should have been everybody's first clue that we were in deep doo-doo. When they bring in contractors to do U.S. military work, we're in trouble. It should have never been done, because you notice that our own people end up going to work for all the contractors. That's never a good idea. That's how you end up with the military behind the mafiosos in U.S. government, still trying to take over the world and colonize. Where the colonization continues. The Queen's wet dream. So that I can live in all these riches forever and have people bow to me. Good Lord. Seriously. How long have I been on here? 19 minutes. I'm going to go work on my other court filing. And we're going to continue this song and dance, I guess, for a few weeks more until we can lock up Donnie and impeach Biden and, yada, yada, yada. Because the only way you shut down the mafia is when all these little fish end up in orange jumpsuits, because that makes all of the big fish in DC end up in orange jumpsuits. And that's how we end up making sure that Hitler does not arrive on American soil anymore. And let's hope that he doesn't hit another country for the third go round. I think 2's enough. And I suspect after the crash or the devastation of the financial crunch that we'll all feel living through all of this, hopefully the second go round will make sure that all these little fish end up in orange jumpsuits, so the big fish can end up in orange jumpsuits, so he doesn't reappear ever again in anyone's country, but let alone America. Let's have the guy not reappear ever again, because we've done the right thing this time. And hopefully the hard times ahead will teach everybody that you don't let Joe Biden run amok. He came in with a promise to, said he was going to hold Trump accountable, and he's done nothing, which of course only proved that he's just as much of a mafioso as Donald Trump is. Maybe different countries, I don't care. He's worse and he's more dangerous than Donald Trump because he knows how to pull the levers. You know, and he's got that U.S. military up my you-know-what. And that's why I am going to make sure that I devastate that man and ruin his family to where they go into hiding and are afraid to show their faces and know there isn't a press pool out there taking their pictures and thinking they're so hot all the time so that they can propagandize the stuff. Presidents who send the U.S. military after their own citizens to cover up their own mafia crime need to be in orange jumpsuits, their careers destroyed, and stripped of their wealth, if you're asking me. Or let's do Hitler again. You know what? I'll be dead. If you want him to reappear for a third time, go for it. Or if you don't even want him to leave him now, if you don't want to leave him to leave right now before the camps get built, then I guess that's up to America and Americans, right? I know I've got a good chunk of people behind me because I can feel it. But I know there's plenty of these nutters that are, you know, the Mormon nutters next door. There's plenty of them, you know, because they've gone into the church every Sunday and said, we don't know what she's talking about. She's just crazy. We would never do anything like that. Oh, yeah, sure. As you come home, as yesterday proved, they come home and then run for the mob. But by God, let's give them a hand for showing up at Sunday service. Yay! Love you, America. You've got some serious problems. You better find some serious people like the Crips and the Bloods to help you out because you've got a serious problem. So does the world. Love you. God bless you.